Hello fantasy managers, and welcome to another video from myself, Will, and fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. I hope you guys had a good break, I hope you had a good Christmas, and I hope you had a good New Year's. And most importantly, I hope those arrows were green. And I'll be talking a little bit about my team and how I did over Christmas, but I'm going to be moving quickly on to the upcoming fixtures and the upcoming questions. So we've got a lot of questions around big hitters this week, so I think that's going to be the focus. Also going to be looking at some of the new players, some of the January signings, and some of the upcoming fixtures, comparisons. Lots to get through. Let's get to it. So here's my team. It did okay over Christmas, actually. We went from around 24,000 to 11,000, so just outside the top 10k. I've been inside the top 10k earlier in the season, so it's good to get back near that. That's my sort of benchmark, and I'm keen to get in that and stay in that for the rest of the season. Had some big shake-ups over Christmas, took a couple of hits, got rid of the City guys, got in the likes of Pogba, and got back in Salah. And I knew that he could hurt me not having him, and it proved the case. I got rid of him and he got that hat-trick, which was a terrible move. So he's back in now, and he's not going anywhere. He's been back in the last few weeks, so he's done well for me since I brought him in, had him captaincy. I think that, as I'll come to in a little bit, he's a key player to own. Elsewhere, Robertson and Alonso, my two heavy hitters at the back, been doing well. To be honest, I'm not really looking to move those on. I know quite a few people are downgrading and looking to shift the funds into midfield and the strike force. I'm very happy keeping Robertson and Alonso. Digne, I bought him in, and the week I bought him in, he got his massive haul, which I can't remember, something like 17, 18 points or something. And you think that's brilliant, but I benched him. He was first on my bench, and it was Boxing Day, and I thought he's likely to come on anyway. But it turned out that there was actually a lot less rest and rotation over Christmas. So he's actually not done too well for me, and I think that he's potentially a player that I'm going to move out. I'll come to that towards the end of the video. Doherty, he's got some great upcoming fixtures after this week. He's got Man City this week, but after that he's got some good fixtures. Fabianski, I'm happy to own him. He's not really been delivering. West Ham don't look like getting many clean sheets, but there aren't too many other goalkeepers around that price point that I would really consider. So I'm happy to keep him and see how he does. In midfield, Anderson has not really done very much for me, and he's one that I'm potentially looking to shift. Son has been incredible, absolutely incredible for me. I brought him in probably about 6 game weeks ago or so, and he's really delivered, far more than I expected, to be honest. But obviously he's going to, if you don't know, he's going to the Asia Cup after the Manchester United game. So I'm going to be looking to get rid of him. I potentially could hold him, but I don't really like holding somebody of that value for. It looks like he's going to be out for or away for 3 weeks or so. So going to be moving him out. Going to be talking a little bit more about that later in the video. Probably next week, not this week. Pogba's been really good for me. He's got a bit of a knock hit now, but I think he'll be fine. Brought him in before his brace, so that was a nice little boost. Richarlison, he's got some good fixtures coming up, so I'm not looking to get rid of him. Kane, we'll come to the big hitters a bit more in depth later on, but I'm quite happy holding him. Spurs have got some good fixtures coming up. Okay, so I thought I'd jump straight into some of the community questions from Paul here, who's a good FPL player and a good Sky player, I know. And he asks, is Salah priority over City, Spurs, United, etc.? And which City assets should you go for? Sterling, Sane, Aguero or KDB? And again, John asking thoughts on Mane. Is he good enough to cover Salah? So I'll tackle the Mo question first, and I think that if you don't have Mo Salah, then you've got to get him in. Basically, he's got the underlying numbers are really strong for him. He's got the fixtures. He's part of probably one of the best attacks in the league. So just having a quick look at the fixtures, and again, it just highlights that Mo really is, a player that you want in your team right now. So this is for the next 7 fixtures looking at attack, and you've got straight off, you've got Liverpool at the top there. They've got the best attack over the next, or the best fixtures for attack over the next 7 game weeks. And then you got players like Southampton. I probably wouldn't be looking to bring him. I've got Ings, and he's got an injury, so I'm probably going to be looking to shift him. You've got people like Redmond, but I wouldn't go near him. Then Wolves. So after Man City, they've got a really nice run. And then a little bit lower down, you've got Spurs, but they've got a very nice run after the United game as well. And so Kane is a good option, but definitely, if you haven't got Mo this week, then I'd definitely be prioritising him. Go into the question of whether you should have Mane and you think that he can cover Salah. I'd say probably not. Looking at in terms of what they've done so far, their underlying numbers, you can see in the comparison tool there that Mane doesn't really get close to Salah. So I'd be very cautious of doing that. I think that Mane is a good option, don't get me wrong, and he's got some decent underlying stats in terms of his shots over the last 4. But I don't think he can cover Salah, especially for that captaincy route. So on balance, I think you'd be a very brave person to go without Salah over the next few matches. So that's my view. In terms of, so moving on then to some of the other questions, and I think it also brings in Paul's second question here. What are the best 3 premium options to own, and also another question on Man City assets, because they've got a nice run of fixtures coming up as well, and obviously they're going to be fighting for the title, and they score a hell of a lot of goals. So I think that on balance, if we take a look at the best 3 forward options to start with, you've got Kane, Aubameyang and Aguero, and we had a question on this, which one of those 3, I haven't got it up there, but which one of those 3 should you target for your FPL team? And I think there's a very strong case to be made for all of them actually, so it's a really difficult question. I've got Kane, he's not going anywhere. That kind of limits me, so I'm not looking at Aguero, I'm not looking at Aubameyang. But, if I had Aubameyang, first of all, he was a great captaincy shout this week away to West Ham. He's got some really good underlying numbers, probably the best out of those 3 in terms of his underlying numbers and the big chances that he's had over the last 4 game weeks or so. So I think that he's a really good shout, actually. His Arsenal's fixtures are a little bit mixed, but Arsenal are scoring a lot of goals, and he's going to play a big part in that. So if I had Aubameyang, I wouldn't be looking to lose him. Aguero is a bit of the wild card at the moment. City have some good upcoming fixtures, and looks like they're going to be scoring a lot of goals. And if I was really looking for a differential, which could has the biggest upside, could potentially explode and really catapult me up the ranks, then Aguero would be the one that I'd be looking at. Having said that, I'm not, as a Kane over, I'm not considering him. Spurs have some good fixtures, but Aguero, there's no doubting that he could easily get a hat-trick at the weekend against Wolves. So if you're looking for a big differential, then Aguero could be the right way to go. But going back to Paul's question, which City assets would you go for? I had Sane, I had Sterling. I got rid of them over Christmas. But I think they both look good shouts now, and I'm expecting City to really go on a little bit of a run now. You mentioned KDB as well there, with his niggling injury doubts and Pep easing him back in. I wouldn't go there, but Sane is probably the one that I'm considering most out of those 3 for my team, just because of his value. Couple of points there to raise though is that one he's looking good. He's got the shots. He's got way more shots than Sterling, certainly in recent weeks. Sterling just seems to have dropped off a little bit. Doesn't quite seem to be playing the same role. He's created a lot of chances, so you're still going to get points from Sterling, but Sané's actually looking more of the goal threat there. But I would expect Mendy to come back within 3 to 4 weeks, something like that. And that does affect Sané. So Pep likes to play with width. So when Mendy isn't there, Sané provides that width. But Mendy coming back, then I'd expect Sané's minutes to be reduced, and that reduces him as an FPL option. So that's something to bear in mind. But if you're looking to, cover Son, for example, and if I could do that switch, if I could afford the Son to Sané, I probably would make that move. So if you're looking for a short-term or 3 to 4 game weeks option, then my pick would probably be Sané over that. If you're looking for the big differential, then Aguero. Sterling, he's looking a little bit pricey, but again, he could come good. He's still got good numbers, and he's still, providing those assist opportunities. So it is a really difficult question, but personally, I would look at Sané, certainly in the short term, and then reassess in a few weeks. So just have a look at the other end of the scale, the more budget end of the scale, and there's some interesting transfers that have been happening, which might be relevant for FPL, probably not, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. You've got Klein and Solanke have gone to Bournemouth. Klein coming in at 4.4, I believe, and Solanke at 4.7, so very friendly on the price point. Klein, part of the Bournemouth defence, which is just non-existent, basically. So I wouldn't be looking at Klein. Bournemouth don't look like they can defend very well. He could potentially help that, but I think they're quite an attacking team, and I wouldn't be looking at their defence, certainly not when there's some other really good options about. Solanke, not for me, certainly in the immediate term. I think that is an interesting transfer, though, and it's, they paid, I think it was 18, 19 million, something around that for him. So you'd expect him to come into the first team, and you'd expect him to start. But, Wilson's obviously the main guy there at the moment, and that makes me think that potentially Wilson could be moving on. And, with Morata possibly leaving Chelsea, you'd think that maybe Wilson might be going to Chelsea. I'm just guessing here, but I think that's an interesting situation to watch. If Wilson did go to Chelsea, he'd become a very, very attractive option, and that might also bring Solanke into the picture if he gets the minutes and is only at 4.7. So potentially watch that situation. I wouldn't be making a move for Solanke certainly over the next couple of weeks. The other one, which is possibly a better route, is Jason Puncheon, who's gone to Huddersfield. Now he's 4.2, which is just crazily cheap. So he certainly could be an option. You'd think he's gone to Huddersfield to get first team action. You don't think he's gone there to sit on the bench. So I would expect him to become a first team player, and at 4.2, which is, he could very well be a very good fifth midfield spot, and he's someone I'm looking at to, potentially in a downgrade or Sun move, not this week, but to free up funds and get that cheap midfielder spot. He think that he could potentially be a really good FPL option. Okay, having a quick look at the captaincy this week. For me, it's a very easy one. It's going to be Salah, because I don't own any of the other three on that poll. But I think that he possibly is one of the best options. Hazard, he's blanked the last two, but I think is a very good shout, especially if Morata doesn't play. I think Hazard. I'm very worried as a non-Hazard owner. I think if I had him, he'd be a very good captaincy option. If I had Aguero, I would probably captain him. And actually, if I had Aubameyang, I'd probably captain him as well. So I'm a bit worried not owning those three this week. But there are so many big hitters, and it's one of those where you just can't own them all. Okay, so having a look at my team, and just to finish off on my transfer plans. At the moment, I'm really, really not sure. The players that I need to get or want to get rid of are Son and Ings. But the players I want in are actually Rashford. Rashford has got really good underlying numbers. He's looking really good under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he looks a key part of that Manchester United team. And all the noises that Solskjaer is saying is all about, Rashford being really key to them. That his pace that he's offering, he likes, the youth that he offers, and he sees him as a really key part of that Manchester United team. So a lot of good noises. The numbers are good. The fixtures are good after the Spurs match. So I don't think this is a great week to bring him in. And the other thing is that I'm actually going to Wembley to see the Spurs versus Manchester United match. And I don't think that I could, as a Spurs fan, I could make that move to down. So it would be a downgrade Son to a cheaper midfielder, and then upgradings to Rashford. I don't think I could make that move. And also, I'm not sure that I necessarily want to. I think that Manchester United, although they're very good in attack, their defence is really yet to be tested, and I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. And I think that Son could be involved in the goals. At least I'm hoping for that, because obviously I've got Son and Kane and Pogba in my team. But on paper, I think it should be a high-scoring match. So on balance, I think I'm going to leave my attack as it is. Felipe Anderson's the one that I'm potentially more inclined to get rid of, and I could possibly downgrade him to a cheap fifth midfielder, and then upgradings to someone to Rashford. But I don't actually mind Felipe Anderson's fixture this week against Arsenal. Arsenal have got a really rubbish defence, so I don't mind that fixture for him. The other option I was looking at was Arnautovic, but he keeps getting these niggling injuries. And there was, I believe there's been a bid for him from a Chinese club that are offering him stupid wages. So there's an injury doubt, and there's a potential that he could move. So I'm more leaning towards Rashford at the moment. But as I said, this is not the week I want to bring him in. I have missed a few price rises, which is a bit painful. But we're getting into the second half of the season now, and I'm beginning to get much more concerned about points rather than pounds. So I'm not too worried about the price rises. Next week, I think I will be getting rid of Son, and I probably will be getting Rashford in. But that I've got 2 free transfers, so that I still need to make a move. And the one that I'm looking at is I'm actually looking at Digne, and I know he's got a brilliant fixture this week, certainly from an attacking point of perspective. But as I mentioned before, Everton, they haven't kept a clean sheet since game week 18 or something, so it's been a long time. And he's a great option for attack, and I think he could come up with another big haul that I might end up missing this week. But the player that I'm looking to bring in is Trent Alexander-Arnold, and if you compare Liverpool and Everton's defence, they don't even compare, basically. Liverpool's underlying numbers are good, their clean sheets are good. They've got top-class goalkeeper. I'm not saying Pickford is bad, but Alisson, I think, is in a different class. They've got everything, basically. And, you expect from now until the end of the season, the clean sheets are really the bread and butter of defenders. And that's, Trent Alexander-Arnold is obviously offering things going forward as well. Maybe not as much as Digne, but he's certainly offering an option. And so I'm looking at that double up of the Liverpool defence, and just using the one single transfer of Digne to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then dealing with the Son situation next week, and possibly bringing in Rashford and using my 2 transfers that way. So that's it for me. If you did like the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It massively helps the channel out and encourages me to do more of these. Next week, or I should say over January, I'm looking to bring on more of the hub contributors. We've got Matthew Jones coming on, which is arguably one of the best FPL players in the world, a contributor to the hub. He's doing his team reveals not each week, but he's regularly going to be doing his team reveals as often as he can on the hub. And there's one this week, and it's very interesting to see his moves and his thinking. And I would highly recommend go check that out. I think we've got Adam Hopcroft also coming on towards the end of January. Another very, very good FPL player. So hopefully you guys will get some insights from him. Very good on his stats. And also Ben Crelling's going to be coming on when we get a bit closer to the doubles. He's the double game week expert, and also hub contributor. He's got his fantastic planner on the site, which that thing is just insane. So if you haven't used that, use that and go check that out. But otherwise, it's a goodbye for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you did, again, just hit the like and hit the subscribe button. Hope those arrows are green, and I hope you have a good weekend. Bye for now.